Read, remember, repeat, family. Welcome to another interview, special interview. Um, Everybody that comes on this interview, I'm telling you guys, it is the source. So I need you guys to tune in with open ears, um, open hearts, open minds. You know what I mean? Tell a friend, tell a friend. We are simply talking about literature and getting to know the people behind, you know, just the readers, their daily life, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Tap in. Let's go. I'm just adding a few people right now. Everybody give me a second and we will tune in to a wonderful interview. How's everybody's day today? Write in the comments. I hope everybody's feeling good. Productive nonetheless. Okay, we just add some people in. Good day, cuzzo. Good day. How the hell are you, man? Uh-huh. Let's go. Just adding a few people in and our guest is waiting. Our guest is coming on. Hope you guys are ready for this interview, man. Yeah, you there, Mary? Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Oh man, phenomenal, Mary. Today has been a great day. Did they?
Excellent, excellent. It's a great day. I've been doing a lot of studying on blockchain, actually. So,
Yes. Yes. I would like to edify Mary, right? Because this person I see, she actually reads more than I do. Like when I look at her timeline, and if you guys follow her, go to her page, follow her. I will write her name in the comments. Um, yes, this lady, she's like really deep in personal development. And that right there is like where the vibration where we must have linked. And I said I need to get her on this show so she can share her value to the people that are just, that may need help or want to, build themselves to the next level. Mary's a part of the IM business that I'm in. So we met at the convention. They was just telling us like, yo, meet 100 people, go get everybody's Instagrams, and that was the energy. So I'm grateful that we met. And tell them a little bit about yourself, Mary. Introduce yourself.
me too. I'm so glad that we met. I wanted to say Dallas, but it might have been Houston.
I
And
think I think it was Dallas.
I think it was Dallas because it was outside and just walked up to you and well, Amanda walked up to you and started talking. I was like, damn, this guy's got some energy. Like he's really gonna go places. And it was just it's an amazing place to meet people because we're all like-minded people. We all kind of focus on the same thing, but the energy and the vibe is so good. And I just don't have time to waste on people that don't have good energy anymore. Like I have an energy budget. So
Yes. Oh man, that's amazing that you said that. I was just telling my moms that today. Like, you know, not that you want to not feel bad for a person that, in that realm, but you gotta, give them the tools that you can give them, and then, you gotta depart because, at some point, that energy can also bring you down.
yeah,
You
and
know.
you don't want that. You wanna just keep your good energy because you are gonna have days where you don't have a lot of energy. Like for example, when I go to the gym every day, and if I have a low energy day, then I'm not going to do a full-on hard workout. You know, I'm going to modify my workout to accommodate my low energy day. That way I'm conserving the energy that I have. I'm not like, you know, and then on the higher energy days, I'll do like, you know, a more hardcore or higher intensity workout, something like that. But I think managing your energy is like such a big deal, because if you're only at 40%, you got to keep that 40%. Like, you can't be giving all that stuff away. And I mean, there's ways to raise your vibration and raise your energy and stuff too. But, you know, I think as human beings, you know, we have a reserve, and we have to be protective of that, I think. So, yeah, my name's Mary, and I am currently living in Puerto Rico. I'm a native of California. I've been in California I was in California for 38 years. I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go back to visit my kids. But yeah, I started diving into personal development and really just absorbing it and getting so excited about it. And I literally changed my life and got so much confidence and so much stuff inside myself that I said, I'm just gonna move to Puerto Rico. And everyone's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna move to Puerto Rico. I love it there. I think it's beautiful, and I want to live on an island. So here I am.
So you just made the big move, like just like you
Yep.
just told family, like I'm going to Puerto Rico.
Actually was at in 2020, I was at a convention here that was hosted by IAM, or my, you know, QC group in Chicago, and we came to Puerto Rico in the middle of the pandemic. Kind of got into some trouble, but you know, it's all good. But that was the first time I came to Puerto Rico, and I remember sitting on a beach that we had a bonfire or something, and I'm sitting there looking out at the ocean, and just this little tiny thought came in my head, like, I could just live here forever. And just for 1 second, that thought, this shows how powerful your thoughts are, that 1 second. And then when I went home, I got an opportunity from a friend of mine, said, I'm moving to the Virgin Islands, you should come. And I'm like, oh, I can move to an island? Are you kidding me? And so I started thinking about that and planning that. And then God just had a totally, completely different thing for me. He brought me back to Puerto Rico and said, you're not going to the Virgin Islands, you're going to Puerto Rico. And I was like, all right. You know better than I do, so here I am. But it took me a year to kind of prepare for that and wait and watch God's hand in my life, moving all these different things around, you know, get more confidence in myself, build up, you know, with personal development and reading every freaking book I could think of on personal development. And here I am. I love it. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah. When did you like, when did personal development become like a thing? Like, there's an unconscious like personal development that we do. I'm pretty sure, like, you know, if you can count back in the years where you were like, you know, doing little incremental gains to possibly do better. But when did personal development hit and you was like, this is, you know, life changing?
Okay, so I am not a spring chicken, but
Okay.
I just discovered personal development like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like, I didn't know anything about it. I had no idea that it existed. I mean, I heard of self-help books before and things like that, but I had no idea. I just lived a different life at that time. And my husband passed away about 3 years ago. And
Sorry to hear about that.
yeah, thank you. So about a year after he passed away, like, I was just sitting on my couch and I was just like, what do I do with my life? Like, who am I? Where am I going? Like, I don't even have a plan. I don't even know what to do. And it was because of IM and because of the emphasis on personal development that I started learning about this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know, like, Bob Proctor, Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, like, who are these people? You know, and started sucking up everything I could, watching videos, listening to audios, reading books. I'm a book reader. Like, I would much rather read the book and underline and highlight and scribble and all that kind of stuff than listen to podcasts. But that was really, I mean, it was honestly just shy of 2 years ago. So I'm brand new to this, which is maybe why I have so much energy. I don't know. But it changed my life.
It shows, because like they say, whatever's your diet, you know, whatever you eat, it must like show, like it comes out like you must have really dived into it, and it's a beautiful thing to see, you know what I mean, and be inspired by, because you know, personal development ain't easy.
Oh no, oh no. Like, I went on this healing journey that you don't even know. You don't even know. And I went on this healing journey for about a year. And that was the whole time I was planning to move to Puerto Rico. And God just kept telling me, girl, you think you're finished with this, but you're not. Like, wait till you get to Puerto Rico. Then the real healing is going to begin. And I live by myself. I have actually, so I have a roommate who, he's also a part of I Am Academy. And we met in Chicago. I mean, pretty much like I met you. Like, hey, how are you? We met in Chicago, and he started talking about Puerto Rico. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm moving to Puerto Rico. And he's like 19 years old. And I'm like, you know what? I'm moving to Puerto Rico. You're welcome to come if you want. Just threw it out there, you know. And he's been living with me he got here December 11th. And but basically, you know, he works during the day, or he works at night as a bartender, so I'm here alone during the day, and that is when I'm diving into personal development. And you know, when you're alone by yourself and you're reading this stuff and it's starting to process through your brain, and then you're crying, and then you're laughing, and then you're like, oh, you know, it's really life-changing. It's really life-changing. Like, I am so grateful, so happy and grateful. God bless Bob Proctor. I'm so happy and grateful that I found this, because I would have still been sitting on the couch going, what am I going to do with my life? Instead, like, I found out that I'm a pretty dope person. You know, like, you know, I like myself. I enjoy myself. I didn't like myself before. I didn't like myself much. I didn't think I had much value. And I discovered that I do.
Yes. Oh man, you do have value, man. We all have so much value in us. And Bob Proctor, man, if it wasn't for Bob Proctor, I wouldn't have had this. I wouldn't have made this platform.
Amen. Me too.
It was something that he said in his seminar, that he said, read, remember, repeat. And he said, but it's not the application. No, but it's not read, remember. It's not just read and remember, repeat. You have to put the application to it too. And it sparked this whole world of where it was like reading, interviews, books, shirts. I just started coming up with a whole bunch of things. And it's like, you know, I thank God for Bob, man. I really do, man. And it doesn't feel like a bad gone, like, you know, a bad, you know, departure.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Because it's like he
feel
was
him
so
more spiritually.
Yes.
Like, I almost feel him more now than, because I never met him, but
Right.
I was blessed by all of his information.
Yes.
And I think that the key thing that I learned from Bob Proctor is to just like stop having limiting thoughts. Like you were saying, you know, you just started doing the books and the interviews and things like that. Like, we let those thoughts come into our minds, and then all of a sudden, because of our programming, we just go, oops, stop, that's not the normal. You can't do that, you know? And so what he really taught me was, yes, you can. Like, just keep, whatever pops into your head, just keep thinking about it and make it happen if that's what you want. So I'm so proud of you. I love this Read Remember program.
Mary, thank you. And I want to ask you right now, would you come back on the show later on in the months?
Oh,
when we,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh man, I appreciate you so much. So Puerto Rico, is that it for you? Like, is that like, or like, are you adventurous now? Like, I want to see some other, I might even go move to like Peru or something. Like, what, you know, brings with this new experience?
So I think like Puerto Rico, because of all the transformation from 2020 to now, like, you don't even have any idea. Like, I jumped off this cliff when we were here before, and I was afraid of heights. I climbed up this cliff. I was afraid to fly an airplane before I flew here in 2020. And since then, I've traveled like all over the place. I probably visited, I don't know, I probably visited about 8 different places last year, and I never even got on an airplane by myself before. So Puerto Rico has a really, really special place in my heart because it's where my transformation began. And so I feel like I'm living in this, it's freaking amazing, okay? So I envisioned that I was gonna be living in a penthouse with an ocean view in Puerto Rico, and guess where I live? Guess where I live? You
In the
know, like
penthouse.
it's a little dated, so it's kind of like a 1980s penthouse. Has
Yes.
that vibe. But you know what? The elevator opens up to my door. I look out my bedroom window and there's the ocean. I look out my kitchen window, there's the ocean. I live in this amazing neighborhood. I love Puerto Rico, and it always is going to have a place. So I was thinking about actually buying this condo from the lady that owns it, or definitely buying a place right here. But I definitely want to travel. Like I'm already planning to go. Well, I'm already planning to go to Mexico. Well, I was planning to go to Mexico in April, like Cancun area. I want to go to. Well, there's all these islands down here. I've been to the Dominican Republic. I want to go back. I want to go to Barbados. We have a team in Barbados, and I've been connecting with them. And I'm like, I'm coming. As soon as your island opens up, I'm coming. Barbados, I do want to go to St. Thomas, where my friend lives. He actually ended up moving to St. Thomas, but it wasn't the place for me. This is the place for me. But there is a lot of travel that I want to do. I feel like Colombia and Panama and like sort of Central America and the Caribbean is where I want to be. No offense to anybody, but I don't have a huge desire to go to Europe. But it just like this culture is so beautiful, and I just want to experience more of that because, after living in this confined state of mind for so much of my life, now I'm like wide open, and I'm like, yeah, all I got to do is buy a ticket and go. I'll find some friends there. I know somebody there. And then being in our community that we have, in our investing and trading community, we know people all over the place. So I could call somebody up in Colombia and say, hey, you know what? I'm coming, pick me up at the airport. Yeah, I definitely want to travel. But I do feel like, man, I don't want to leave without having a place here, because I always want to come back home to here,
Oh, man. That's amazing. I actually been to Puerto Rico, and I love it there, too. It does give you a feel that you can live there, though. Me and my wife actually was like, when we got there, we was like, this place is amazing.
Yeah.
But it was like, the kids are little right now. So being at the age that they are, it's like, we don't know how they would like it. But, eventually we'll come around to just thinking about, where we'll go next.
They call it the Island of Enchantment, and like it really is. I don't know what it is about this place, but it's got my heart.
Oh man, the beans are amazing out there. The food is amazing.
Yes.
What activities cause you to feel like you are living your life to the fullest?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. There was an airplane.
What activities cause you to feel like you are living your life to the fullest?
Oh my goodness, so many. I'm a really creative person. I'm an artist. I studied art in school. I'm a musician. I taught music for more than 20 years. So music and art and creating things is really the thing that gets me the most excited, I think. But that's where, like, I'm just going to bring it back to books for a little bit, because that's where books really inspire me. Because depending on what I'm reading, when I was a kid, I grew up reading, like nonfiction books and mysteries and things like that. And I would just travel to that place and be at that place. And, now as an adult, I realize that that's absolutely okay to do as an adult too. So, but that's my creative mind. I like doing anything creative. I make jewelry. Those are things that make me happy.
Oh man, amazing. So it is a book, it is a book show. What are you currently reading?
Well, I'm currently reading Dr. Joe Dispenza's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And it's freaking blowing my mind. Like it is. I'm telling you, it's going to take me like a year to read this book, because I'm reading it sentence by sentence, and I'm like absorbing it, and like, holy crap, oh my God, this is changing my life. So, I mean, that's what I'm reading right now. That is, applying, meditation techniques with that, because I do meditate regularly. And this is just like leveled up my brain, leveled up my meditation practice, and really helped me to be like, wow, like there is so much left for me to do. But I also read the Bible every day. And I used to read a lot of, just sort of fanciful stuff, and I don't do that so much right now just because of all the study that I'm doing and all the investing that I'm doing. So most of my like articles that I read and things like that are on investing or on cryptocurrency or on, things like that, but also a ton of personal development. And yeah, currently that is my book that I'm like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite book?
Oh my goodness, my favorite book. It might be Little Women. It might be Little Women because I read that when I was a little girl and it was so inspiring about women that were living in a time period where they were not allowed to express themselves, but they did anyway. And so when I was a little girl, like that book totally, totally inspired me to, just be creative and step out of my comfort zone. A lot of books. I read the Outlander series, which is another fanciful series about, it's sort of historical fiction. So it's about, they made a TV series out of it, which is really not very good, but sorry for anybody that likes it. But the books were phenomenal. They're like 900 pages each. There's like 12 books in the series. It took me 4 years to read all through them, but that was an amazing book series. But now it's really a lot of, because I'm investing in myself right now, it's turned from the sort of fanciful to the more technical. And I think this is crazy because the more personal development that I do, the better my brain thinks. I don't watch television. I haven't watched television in 2 years. I don't watch television. Once in a while I'll watch a movie, but I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch television. I do my own research on places where I think that I'm going to get valuable information. But that not watching television and starting to read more caused my brain to absorb information in a better way. So I'm absorbing the information, I'm remembering the information, and I'm repeating the information. So.
There you go, right there. That also was gonna lead to a question. What are you listening to these days? I know you just said you cut out TV, but more specifically, what are you listening to these days? Like, who personal,
Jeff
which
Logan. That's all I'm gonna say. Jeff Logan is my freaking, like, I wish he wasn't married because he would love me, but I'm just kidding. Jeff Logan is like the shit. I love Jeff Logan. So I listen to a lot of, inspirational podcasts, things like that. I love Jeff Logan. I love Bob Proctor. I'm a Christian. I'm a woman of God, so I listen to a lot of Christian music. Like when I'm at the gym, I'm usually listening to Jeff Logan over and over and over again. He has like these little short podcasts that you can listen to over and over again, and they're just extremely affirming and extremely like. He's great. If you don't know him, go look him up. You're gonna love him. But then when I go like to stretch or I'm on my way home, I'll just listen to like some Christian music, and it just kind of centers my mind after all the things that I've been putting in it and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't even own a television anymore.
Right. I know television is expensive. It really is. And for you to learn that is like you have to learn that, because you'll just look at it like, what do you mean? It's just television. You turn it on, you turn it off. But when you really tap into personal development, you realize how much that's taking time from you, and what it's not doing. You know what I mean? Because you're just watching something that could just be a bunch of crap. You know what I mean?
And not to mention all that subliminal stuff that they're putting in there too, that just like deadens you. And next thing you know, you've been sitting there watching something for, 3-4 hours, and you're like, you get up and you feel like doing nothing. I mean, just for me, there's so much, like I got into the game late, I feel, and so there's like so much for me to learn, so much for me to absorb, so much for me to read, so much for me to listen to that's good for me, that like I don't have time for television. I don't have time to put any more crap in my life. Like I'm trying to get that stuff out and bring in good stuff so that I can be, a blessing to people.
Oh man, that's amazing. That is amazing. What is the most important thing a person can do to improve themselves? The most.
Definitely, you got to go inward. You got to go inward. You got to stop thinking what other people care about you, and that's a hard thing to do. You just gotta you you gotta start meditating. You gotta start looking inside you, because the real key to improving yourself and being a better you is to know who you are. You know, I'm older, and I spent half my life not knowing who I was. You know, and now I'm like discovering who I am, and it's so amazing. And so I say, go inward to figure out where you're going to be outward. I mean, that is the best thing I can tell you. And it's not easy. It's hard, because you go inward and there's some dark shit in there. Like, there's some stuff in there that you're like, I'm not gonna, but you have to. And I think once you go over one of those hurdles, like once you just start doing, well, they call it shadow work. I don't know what it is, but you know, like once you start healing and have that desire to heal those things within you that are not helping you,
Yes.
you do the first one and it's like, oh, you know, like, but then you realize that after that comes like this joy and this beauty and this newfound, you know, experience about something. At least it was for me. And I was like, all right, I'm a kind of like all or nothing person. So I'm like, bring it on. Let's do all the healing. Let's go. Let's do it now. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. It's like peeling an onion, you know? You peel, you cry, you peel, you cry, you peel, you cry, you know? But I would say definitely meditation, which I knew nothing about 2 years ago, changed my life, because it made me see who I was inside. It made me differentiate from who I wanted to be and who I was. And it helped me to create the person that I am today. And it's still creating. Like, we never stop healing. We never stop learning about ourselves, you know? So.
Nice. Oh, man. That's beautiful, man. I like to see God work in other people's lives too, like the personal development and all that, because then it shows you also like, man, good for that person. That good can happen for that person. It can happen for me too. As opposed to just thinking like life is just this downward spiral or, stuck or anything like that. And yeah, that's big. If
Yeah,
a
I mean, I was
child,
a hot mess. So, like, if I was such a hot mess, if I can do this, anybody can do it.
mm, if a child somehow survived and grew up in the wilderness without any human contact, how human would they be with the influence of society and culture?
Um, I don't know. I kind of feel like they would be more in tune with themselves than we are. You know, we have so much in our society, in our cultures, that's just kind of impressed upon us, and we can't hardly escape that. We don't even know. Most people don't even know that they're sleeping. You know, and I feel like if you were brought up in a place that didn't have that, you would be more in tune to your conscious mind than your subconscious mind. And the things that your subconscious mind would be tuned into would be completely different than what society has. I mean, that's, growing up in the middle of a forest somewhere, like, you're going to have to find out how to eat. You're going to have to find out how to entertain yourself. You're going to have to, like, discover and do all these things. So I think, in my experience from finally just, like, taking a break from this world and starting to discover new things, like stepping out into the unknown. Can you imagine if you, like, had to do that every day? If you were living in a forest, like, with nobody else around, you'd be like, every day would be unknown. Like,
Right.
you'd probably be a great person.
It'd probably be better than what we would think, Let me see. Another good one. If freedom is simply being able to do what you want, are animals freer than humans?
That is an interesting question. I mean, it really, like, I'm thinking, first of all, what is freedom and what does freedom mean to me? And what is, like, freedom can mean something different to anybody else. So true freedom, I mean, as an animal, you're either a pet or you're a wild animal.
Right.
So as a wild animal, you're kind of dictated, your environment kind of dictates you. As a pet, your environment dictates you. So I don't know that they're free. They're more free, and also because they don't have that, you know, conscious mind that we have. How do they know if they're free or not? Ooh, this is deep. So how do they know if they're free or not?
Right,
You don't
right.
want to go down the rabbit hole with me. How do they know
Hey,
if they're
listen,
free or
that's what
not?
we are here for. We are here for the deep
So
answers
if you
to
don't
these
know if
questions.
you're free or not, then you can't, like, how are you going to experience freedom? We as conscious individuals, we have a lot of choices, you know, so we can choose to live in freedom by using our conscious mind, you know, and freedom means a lot of things to a lot of people. Sometimes financial freedom is something to someone. Sometimes just peace in your soul is freedom to you. I think it really depends on who's seeking freedom and what they're seeking it for. But yeah, no, animals don't have consciousness.
All right, so I'm sorry about that. It was a call that came through. Um, why do we resist doing things that we know are good for our well-being while craving things that are detrimental to our well-being?
Okay, well, my answer would be we are conditioned. We're conditioned to so many different things we don't even know about. Like, we're constantly being conditioned from the day that we're born, you know? I mean, there's that thing they talk about and they say, you know, if a baby from China grew up in a household in the United States that spoke only English, they're going to speak English. You know, they're not going to know Chinese. So I think that we're definitely being programmed into a bunch of different things. And yeah.
Right, right, right. Now that was deep. That was deep. How do you how do you how do you deal with procrastination?
Oof, that's a big one. That's a big one for me, um, because I'm basically here alone, so I'm my own accountability partner. Morning routine and nighttime routine, I would say, are probably the biggest things, the biggest assets that help me with procrastination. Because I used and your way of thinking too. Like, I used to think I was a procrastinator all the time. I stopped thinking like that, and I'm not one anymore. You know, so in the morning, like, I have a particular morning routine. I go through that morning routine, and that helps set me up for my day. I have the energy, I have the focus, and then it helps me get through my day. And then my nighttime routine is just as important because it's setting myself up for the morning routine the next day. You know, going over what I did for the day, what I didn't do for the day, laying clothes out, laying food out, like whatever it is. I think those have really helped me with procrastination for sure. And I'm like, I'm not perfect, and I don't, you know, like, there's days when I procrastinate for sure, but I think those
The
two
other
things really helped me.
the other day I actually was like face to face with procrastination. Like I seen him and he was just like, don't go. And I was like, wait, this is real. Like procrastination is a real thing. Like it can be a brick wall, you know? And
Absolutely.
it's crazy how it's just a mental block because you're like free. Like I'm free to go this way. I'm free to go this way. But my mental is like, stop, you know? Which is weird. That's really crazy. Yeah, procrastination is very real.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
that, you know, honestly, I'm sorry if I offend
you
anybody,
good. You're
but
great. You're great.
we're almost programmed to have more procrastination than not because we're more controllable when we're not in control of ourselves. And procrastination doesn't lead to us being in control of ourselves. Procrastination is a thought that somebody put in our head. You know, like all of those amazing quotes like, don't be a procrastinator. Oh, what's a procrastinator? Now I know what it is. Now I'm a procrastinator. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I think really going back to personal development and going back to finding out who you are, find out those things that you are susceptible to. If you're susceptible to procrastination, then you need to rewire your brain and figure out a way to replace that with something good. Like, you know, if I just keep pushing forward, I'm going to be able to take a break in a little while. Or if I just keep pushing forward, I'm going to be able to bless somebody else, you know, so.
Nice. Do you think change is a decision or change has to be learned?
Whew. I think I think change has to be learned. I mean, I don't know that we're naturally creatures of change or not. So if we're naturally creatures of change, then it doesn't have to be learned. But if we're taught how to change, and that change is going to make us either better or worse, depending on what the situation is, we have to be taught that first, but then we also have to make a decision to change.
Mm.
And one thing I learned from Bob Proctor that just like really stuck with me, and it's happened in my life, is decision making. Like we could go round and around and around, like I want to do this, I want to do that, I think I'm going to do this, I think I'm going to do that. But once we really make that decision, like bam, God, the universe, everything just starts running towards whatever decision that you made, and it starts rolling over and things start happening. So a decision to change, be careful. If you make a decision to change, you're going to change.
Right. It comes with a price.
Yeah.
It definitely comes with a price. What 2 habits you want to incorporate this year?
Ooh. What 2 habits? I would say this year I want to travel more. I want to kind of like, now that I'm here and now that I feel like it's home for me and I feel like I have a place, I definitely want to travel more. I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go to LA, and then I'm going to Arizona, and then I'm going to go to, are you going to be in Palm Beach?
My kid's birthday are right there in March. So I looked at the times, and I'm like, I even told my wife, I said, hey babe, we out to Palm Beach. So I am in the process of just like thinking I might just go to Palm Beach, but I see the next one is in Barcelona, and you know, they don't have anything else further out yet. But Barcelona seems dope too. I'm not gonna lie.
I think one of the things I want to do is more travel. What did you say? What was the question about? Like,
oh no, I was saying I know Barcelona is the next one after West Palm Beach. Yeah, I was thinking maybe I would do Barcelona too. But the question was, what 2 habits would you want to change this year?
Habits. Okay, the habits that I want to change are really just the way I talk to myself. You know, I've been working on that for a while. There's a lot of examples that I could give, but you know, I used to talk to myself horribly, and now I don't do that anymore. But there still are some other things that in that area that I need to do. I just need to talk to myself better. So it's kind of a continual habit, but it's definitely something I want to really, really work on this year, is just talking better to myself and treating myself.
That's dope. That's dope. Who was your favorite teacher and why?
Oh my goodness. Well, I would have to say Jesus because I learned so much from him. Like, I learned so much from having a personal relationship with Jesus from the time I was little until where I am now. I really, like, I don't think I've learned, I've learned the most from Jesus than I have from anybody else in my life.
Amazing answer. Super amazing answer. If you were locked in an elevator, God forbid, how will you handle it?
Okay, first of all, being locked in an elevator is like the worst thing I can imagine.
I'm so sorry. I'm so. And you just said you got the elevator
you know
right
what?
there that comes to your door. Like, I'm so sorry.
Now I know I got to deal with this.
Oh my God! I asked the wrong question.
It's all good. And I live on the 14th floor, so every time I get in the elevator, I think, holy crap, what if this stops here? I lived in Pennsylvania when I was like a teenager, and I lived on the like 16th floor of this big building, the Sylvania House, and they had an elevator. They had a guy, you know, there, and that elevator would always get stuck. So it just like makes my heart sink. But what was the question? If I'm in an elevator,
how will you think you'll handle it?
You know what? I am so much better at handling things in my life right now. So I think that I would not panic, you know? And I always have my phone with me because I'm one of those people. I'm sorry. I know that everyone says don't be on your phone all the time. I'm sorry. I love my phone. I'm on my phone all the time, and I have it with me. And if I get stuck in an elevator, it'll be great because I'll have it with me. So no, I think I would be okay with it. I think I'd be okay with it.
Oh man,
Ask me that like 2 years ago, I would have been like, ah.
and that's the normal answer, like panic. You know, panic is like the first thing that we'll do in any situation that seems tough or rough, you know? And
But
I
I,
think the new approach is
yeah, I think
understanding and be more patient.
like the more that I go on this journey of like doing my biggest thing this year is conquering the fear of the unknown. And I'm doing okay with it, but I still have some stuff. But like the more things that I do that I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Like, I don't know how to predict anything. Like, it's 100% unknown. I don't know. I haven't planned it, whatever. The more I do that, the more confidence I get. So I feel like if I was stuck in an elevator at this point, I'd be like, okay, well, we don't know how long we're going to be here. Let's call somebody. Let's see if we can get some. Like it's totally different where, you know, even just as little as a year and a half ago, or maybe even a year ago, I probably would have panicked the heck out of myself and been like, but not anymore.
You did all of that,
I'm
right? For
confident
no.
in myself, you know, like really honestly, if anybody out there is not like, if you're struggling and you're not having a good time in life and you're just go inside yourself, start meditating, start reading books, you know, stop thinking it's bullshit because it's not. Like it can save your life, honestly. It can teach you how to love yourself, care for yourself, know yourself, be confident in yourself. And when you have all that stuff, you start doing amazing things. And I wish that for everyone, actually.
Yes, yes. What would be a perfect day for you? What would be a
Oh,
perfect day to marry?
the beach.
The beach.
The beach, yeah. Just being on the beach. I love the beach. So I grew up in New Jersey, and I grew up on an island called Point Pleasant Beach. You're from New York. You know where Point Pleasant Beach is?
Nah,
It's
I'm
down by like
listen.
Manasquan and Bay Head on the Jersey Shore. Not the Jersey Shore, the real Jersey Shore. But yeah, I grew up on an island when I was a kid, and I just always I love being near water. California beaches are beautiful. It's just my place where I go to be at peace. So yeah, there's something
Okay.
about the water and the salt air and just the sound of the ocean. And like when I need to reconnect, whew, that's where I go.
Mhm. Where would be the perfect vacation? You're already living on a vacation right now,
Right?
but where
Well,
would be
I'm
the
sorry.
perfect vacation?
I live a vacation every day. Actually, you know what? So this is so crazy because I've been manifesting this vacation for me and my kids for, I don't know, months now. It just keeps coming to me and coming to me. And I see us all on this, like, I feel like it's Hawaii, but not Hawaii. But I see us all like sitting at this thing, like my kids getting picked up from the airport in Lambos. I mean, it's so crazy because I'm not a materialistic person, but it's something like, you know, you want to give your kids the very, very best. So in my mind, I'm thinking, like, I just want to have the best vacation with them ever. You know, someplace where we're not going to visit family or grandma or cousins or whatever. Like, let's just go someplace that's beautiful with water, of course, and preferably an island. So, you know, the Dominican Republic, Hawaii. I don't know. I'm not quite sold on Hawaii. Like everyone says Hawaii is great. I've never been there, but you know, I love the Caribbean. Like any place down here, but like just a huge vacation where my kids could get picked up in limos and brought to the 5-star hotel and everything is taken care of for them. And, you know, all of us just sitting there like at night around a luau or whatever, you know, cultural thing that's happening. And I actually been thinking a lot about that. So next year when you have me on, I'll make sure that I'm at that location with my family. And I'll show you that my manifestation was real.
Hey, listen, when we get you back on the show, like I said, not to hold ourselves super accountable, but um, just you want to see, you know what I mean? Like it's a beautiful thing. Most of the people that are coming on, you know, they're big on personal development, they're big on reading, and you just want to see the growth and how that comes because it will magnify literature, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
that's the whole purpose here is to just get the culture to understand that we're missing out by not picking up a book, you know. And I don't want to make it sound too cliche because it's like a book, you know. Some people, they look at you like that's all you talk about, but they really don't understand what you can get, and there's so many different ones. Like,
Yes, yes. Like you could pick up a book and you could read and you could be lost in some like different place, a different time, and just in this sort of like amazing fantasy world, and you're just the written word takes you there. And combined with, I think when you're reading, I don't even know because I'm not a scientist, I'm not like a professional or anything, but like when you read, it does engage that conscious mind in imagination, because you don't have a visual, you don't have a picture, it's not a TV, it's not a movie, and the emotions that are built up in you when you're reading are personal. It's not an emotion based off of what someone's trying to project to you on a television. You read a word and it hits you completely different than it hits somebody else. And so there's this reading that causes you to like go to a different place and just kind of escape the world. And then there's, analytical reading and study reading, reading that takes you to a different place because you're learning something new about that, and then there's the Bible, reading the Bible and how that comes to life for you, and how like that's like my blueprint to life. That's my number one self-help book, I would say, would be the Bible. But yeah, I mean, I love reading.
yeah,
I love reading, and talking with people that love reading and talking with people that don't understand it. Like, I know you love reading because it's like poetry or anything. Like, it's exciting because it does something to you. It takes you someplace. You have to do this. You have to read the word. You have to have it come inside you and change you and morph you or whatever. Other ways of gathering information on the internet or on television are not quite the same as sitting down with a book. At least for
yes,
me.
yes. I have and it's crazy because like I always like watching movies growing up, and I didn't watch a lot of jail movies because at some point we kind of thought that was the route that we was gonna end up, and for whatever reason, a lot of the messages that came from there was like they could lock your body, but they can't lock your mind and your soul, and that you can read to open your mind to get out of that cell. Not trying to make that a thing, because none of us here are going to jail, and none of
Yeah.
us here we're moving on the right path. You know what I mean? We got this. But yes, it's like, man, literature is really something different. But can you give somebody your take on motherhood? Being that how old are your children?
So, without giving away my own age, I have 3 kids. They're all grown-up adults. My youngest baby is 20. He's the one delegated to pick me up at LAX at midnight tomorrow night. And then my middle daughter is 20, just turned 23, and my oldest is 31. And like, being a mom was the most amazing, fulfilling, and difficult things I ever did in my life. Like, definitely, I love my kids with all my heart, and they are absolutely amazing kids. Like, each one of them went off to do something really, really amazing. As a mom, and here's an example too, like, of how you talk to yourself, because I never thought I was a good mom. I never thought I was a good mom. I didn't think that, I was doing enough for my kids. I didn't think I was steering them in the right direction, even though I just tried really, really hard. And I used to say things like, if the kids would do something silly, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm the worst mom ever, and I would just say that. And then I didn't mean it. I'm just joking, or something would happen. I'm like, oh, I'm the worst mom ever. And I started to realize that by telling myself I'm the worst mom ever, like, my mind doesn't know if I'm joking or not. All I'm doing is telling myself I'm the worst mom ever. So about a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago, I started this experiment with myself. And it was, I can't believe I'm telling you this. So in my mind, I would always either say out loud, or I would think, oh my God, I'm the worst mom ever. So I decided that I was going to say, I'm the best mom ever. And so the first time that I did it, because I started to speak out like, oh my God, I'm the worst mom ever. And I just went, I'm the best mom ever. And then I start cracking up at myself. And then I'm looking around. There's like nobody here. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. Like, I'm cracking myself up. But as I began to do that, I stopped saying I'm the worst mom ever. And I'm telling you, that was about the first week. Like, it was so quick of a change. But I was still thinking in my mind, like, I would start to think I'm the worst mom ever, and then I would replace it with I'm the best mom ever. I still didn't think I was the best mom ever. You know what? I'm not a bad mom. It's getting better. But anyway, so I would start thinking it and then replacing that thoughts. I don't say that anymore. And I really don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I'm a good mom. I did the best that I could under the circumstances that I had. Yes. And that's just a way of changing how you talk to yourself and what a difference it makes, because now I'm going to see my kids. I haven't seen my kids in 6 months, and I'm so excited. My daughter's having a baby, so we're going to have another baby in the family. But, like, I'm a completely different person than I was 6 months ago, drastically. So I'm excited to see them and be this, like, courageous and confident mom for them.
That is amazing. That is amazing. What is your take on fear? What do you define fear?
Fear or failure? What'd you say?
Fear.
Fear.
How do you define fear? Yes.
Face everything and rise.
Yes.
Like, I was so afraid of everything. Let's see, how can I put this? I spent the majority of my life being conditioned to be afraid of everything. And I was literally afraid of everything. I was afraid of everything. I didn't drive until I was 29 years old. I didn't have a driver's license until I was 29 because I was afraid, because I was told that it was dangerous. A lot of things like that. So fear was huge for me. And I would get out my Bible and look at all the, there's 365 times that God says no fear in the Bible. That's one for every day. And I wanted to believe it so much, but I was still so afraid. And I think, again, going back to that first trip to Puerto Rico, there I was alone, and I booked my own airplane ticket for the first time in my life. I had 6 planes, 3 to get to Puerto Rico and 3 to get back to California, that I had to fly all by myself. Never flew by myself before. Get to Puerto Rico, and there's like this 40-foot cliff that everybody's jumping off of. I'm like, oh my God, I'm afraid of that. It's like, no. But something about that trip and something about like overcoming the fear of flying and doing like these things on my own for the first time gave me enough strength to go, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be the last person. I'm not going to be at the after party tonight being the only one that didn't jump. No, I'm just kidding. But it was that kind of a feeling, And I remember we climbed down these rocks, and I sat in the middle of the rock. I was with a bunch of guys, and we were all going to go together. I'm like, no, it's great. If you get up this, if I'm scared and I start crying, they'll be like, no, go, go, go. They'll cheer me on. So what happened was, I'm in the middle of this group of people, and the people that I was with, and another group of people, like 8 or 10 people, kind of morphed in front of us in line as we're going down this rock. So that my group of people that I was like, holding all my hope in, like, they're already down, but you had to swim across the waterfall river and then climb up another thing. They're already on the other side, and I'm still sitting on the rock. I froze, and I sat there and I had been so confident all day. I froze with this, like, oh my God, like, I could not even move my body. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, what is wrong with you? Just go, just do it. Like, where did this fear come from? Like, I hadn't felt that in a while, because it had been like a few days into the trip, and I was like all high on, like, oh, I'm so confident. Froze me in my tracks. And then I look around, and they're already on the other side, getting ready to climb up to jump off. I'm like, well, how am I going to do this? And then I was like, you know what? Just do it. Just get up and do it. Do it, do it, do it. And I looked down, and the rock that we're supposed to go down was like this steep slope thing. I'm like, I'm not sliding on my ass down that thing. Like, how do I get down? And I was like, okay, turn on your thinking brain. So I watched somebody else go down, and I followed them down, swam across. And as I'm climbing up the other side of rock mountain thing to get to the top of the cliff, I'm thinking, oh my God, this climb is gnarlier than anything. It's going to be gnarlier than jumping off this cliff. But it was a real moment of fear for me at that time. I went to the top and I decided as I was climbing up, you know what, I'm just going to run and jump. As long as nobody's in the way, I'm just going to run and jump. Because if I don't, I'll be up there crying, I'll be frozen, whatever. So that's what I did, and I jumped off the cliff. But that real moment of like frozen fear
Paralyzed you.
it literally paralyzed me. Like I could not move from my position. I felt the paralyzation in my body, in my being. And it was a matter of this. It was a matter of just like, okay, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. But yeah, I mean, I've overcome a lot of fears. That was the biggest one for me. And overcoming that led me to making other crazy ideas like moving to Puerto Rico and,
Thank
doing
God.
other things like that. I think the more you overcome one fear at a time, it gets easier and easier and better, and you build more confidence in yourself, and you start experiencing things, and you look back and you're like, I never would have experienced that in my life. I never would have flown like to Dallas, to Houston, to, like anywhere, New York. I never would have done that if I hadn't done that whole thing. So I think that fear is something we just we do need to address it. Like we need to do something so uncomfortable that it gives us that confidence to move on to the next thing.
Yes. Thank God for, just giving you that extra push, because who knows how life would have been if you didn't conquer those fears, right? It feels so good. You feel strong, right? Like,
I got out of that water. Like when I came back up, I was like, it's this exhilarating feeling like I can do anything. I was ready to jump out of a plane at that point,
Yes.
I still might. I feel like that is on my list now. Somebody who was afraid to climb up a ladder, I'm ready to jump out of a plane. Like,
listen, if we have one of those IM things, I want to do a skydiving
let's go
situation. If we find it, and that's the good thing about it, we can always meet up at like one of these networking events, and it's always so like vibrant, man. It's so vibrant. The masterminds, just listening to the speakers, the chairmans, watching them how they move. It's like network marketing really promises you that you can get there. You can, other than just the traditional worker job,
Yeah, I mean, it's totally doable. But the thing, again, is personal development. Like, you got to be a little bit confident in yourself to be able to do something like that. And our company, I think, is amazing at presenting people with so many resources. I mean, it's all because of I am that I am who I am today. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from that, because I didn't know anything about personal development. I didn't know anything about money. I didn't know anything about investing. I didn't know anything about cryptocurrency. And sheesh, this Christmas, woo! My portfolio is looking good.
Yes. Shout outs to you, sis. Oh man, that's crazy.
No, seriously.
If a genie granted you 3 wishes, what would it be?
Whew. Well, the first one would be that I would live my life with no limitations. I want to see God, and I want to talk to God. That would be my second.
That's amazing.
And just to be able to, like, I know this sounds corny and you might not believe me, but like, honestly, if I could just be a person that blesses other people all the time, like not being afraid to go out of my comfort zone and bless people, not being afraid of losing money or losing anything. Like if I could just bless people and not even worry about it, like just all the time. Like I want to be in that state of mind. And I know it's crazy, but like the older I get and the more that I think about my life, and the more that I know how many blessings I've been giving, the more that I travel and the more that I see people who, A, don't have those kind of blessings, B, might not be in an environment for those kind of blessings, and C, just don't even know. Like, that's what I want to do. I'm writing a book, by the way.
Congrats to that. Congrats to that. Yes. A lot of us are really growing. Christiana, Yana, she was on this show. She's under here. She wrote So True. She just did a book.
Yes.
It's so amazing to see the growth on people, because it's like, how do you break out of those comfort zones, right? Like, you gotta get uncomfortable.
It's not easy,
Yes.
but it's worth it.
And then you wear the strength after that. You wear it after that, you know? Yes. Well, we do the 5 for 5, right? You know, like Wendy's is 4 for 4. So we're gonna introduce you to the 5 for 5 right now. And 5 questions, 5 answers to each question. You know what I mean? You can answer them in any fashion. It doesn't have to be too fast or anything like that, but 5 for 5. Your 5 favorite shows. If you can, back in the day when you were younger, you know, I know you said you don't watch TV now, so let's get that out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Let's go back 2 years, maybe 3 years ago. But go ahead.
Love The Voice. Shout out to Alan Carter. Actually, his daughter went to my school. I love The Voice. I love any kind of entertainment show. I love. I just don't really love TV. Like, okay, so I really loved Little House on the Prairie. I don't know. I can't even think of any. I just, like, I don't watch television. Right. Maybe Power.
Power. Yes, Power was really good. Power was really good. It's really good. It's one of those shows that, you know, it's only an hour, but it's really good depending on how you're looking at it. I like the fact that he made like a whole universe, like a Marvel type of thing with everybody. So it's real dope to learn from too. Yeah. So that's 3 you named.
Okay, let's think. What else? I enjoy watching shows where people show their talent, like dance shows or music shows, things like that. I taught in, actually I was the administrative assistant to a high school performing arts department. So I'm really into theater and stuff like that. So honestly, like live theater, some of the, I don't know, I don't like America's Got Talent and those kind of shows. Like, I do like The Voice, but shows that show people talent, I don't know. I don't watch TV. This is a bad question.
Okay. Top 5 movies, let's say of all time then.
Top 5 movies of all time. Number 1 is Top Gun. Number 2 is, I also don't watch movies. Elysium. Number 2. Number 3, Ready Player One. Number 4, The Secret. Number 5, The Wizard of Oz.
The Wiz. Favorite meals to cook. Top 5 favorite meals to cook.
Okay, so I just made, I'm so excited about this. I eat plant-based, so I don't eat anything with soy or wheat or anything like that. I'm just 100% plant-based. So I
think you're like our first plant-based
I was so craving something, and I'm like looking in my refrigerator because I'm leaving tomorrow, so I don't have a lot of food in there. And I found a zucchini, so I cut it up and I rolled it in almond milk, and then I rolled it in coconut flour and stuck it in the air fryer. So I think that's gonna be my new favorite thing right now. Zucchini, like plant-based zucchini sticks. We'll see how they turn out, but I feel like that I could smell it, and I feel like that was gonna be good. I do love ice cream, but I can't do dairy, so I don't do dairy. What else do I like? Is this my favorite foods? You're saying?
Meals to cook or
meals
foods.
Okay. Casserole, like anything that you can just throw everything all in, spin it around, and throw it in the air fryer or the oven. I'm not a cook. I don't like cooking. I like eating.
Okay, so let's end off the last 2 with just the best, you know, foods that you like.
My favorite food. Well, I found a pizza that I could eat with non-dairy, non-soy, non-GMO, organic cheese, fake cheese, and cauliflower crust. So I love pizza. That's my favorite food. I used to like cereal, but I don't really drink milk anymore, so I'm not really a cereal person. My
Gotta try with the oat
favorite,
milk. Gotta try with the oat
huh?
milk. Gotta try with
No,
the oat milk.
no, it's a grain. No grains. I'm plant-based, like
Oh,
100% plant-based. Like I'm using shampoo in my hair that is plant-based. I'm using deodorant that's plant-based. Like I'm trying to not put anything in my body or on my body that has any sort of potential problem for me. You know, like I'm really being intentional about this year. So, cooking, I make uh, like split pea, like pea pasta or chickpea pasta or lentil pasta. And then I have the vegan meatballs with some marinara sauce on it. That's another one I like to cook. Ramen. I've been making some ramen lately. Okay, this is my favorite one. So yeah, just to like use a vegetable broth and the coconut aminos.
okay.
And I get these. I really shouldn't be having these noodles because they're brown rice noodles, but they're like the thin ramen noodles. And I just chop up like whatever vegetables I have, zucchini, mushroom, squash, whatever I got, just chop it all up, and yeah, that's my favorite.
Hey, listen, for somebody that's not plant-based, you just gave them the sauce right now. Christiana said you can mash then freeze banana to make a mock ice cream. That sounds like
Yes,
it could be great.
yes,
Yes.
that
Yes.
sounds amazing. Yeah, especially here, there's like plantains all over the place and bananas all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Favorite beverages?
tea and tea and tea and tea and
Okay.
tea.
Tea and tea.
My favorite is like dandelion root tea. I love that for breakfast in the morning, dandelion root tea. And then I have like a relaxing tea that I'll have like in the afternoon. And then because I can never sleep, I don't know why we're working on it, but so that I can never sleep, I take valerian root tea, which is supposed to knock you out, but it's not. I'm gonna try mugwort. I understand that really will knock you out. So that's my next thing. But I love tea and I drink water.
Okay.
I used to drink a lot of alcoholic drinks, but I don't even drink alcohol anymore. Like it makes me unproductive. It makes me sluggish. And like I just am so like protective of my energy and the energy that I have. And I really have gravitated away from a lot of activities that diminish my energy and make me less productive. So yeah, no sodas, no nothing, just tea. I love tea and water.
Yes.
Like really good
Yes.
water.
That's amazing. Favorite songs?
Songs. My favorite
Yes. Top
song
five.
is currently my favorite song is "Wait on the Lord" by Dante Bowe, and it might be Elevation Worship. I'm not sure. Next song would be again The Wizard of Oz, which I've been obsessed with since I was 5. So Yellow Brick Road. Gotta say it. And speaking of Yellow Brick Road, Elton John has some pretty fantastic stuff. Let's see.
Elton John is the GOAT.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. And then there's all this like I love Broadway musical stuff. So anything from Dear Evan Hansen, I love that. From The Waitress, from Wicked, from I'm kind of a nerdy person.
Listen, somebody on here might relate to some of those songs, you know what I mean? And
You're like, I don't know what she's talking about.
I personally didn't know that last one. I was like, okay, but I was following
And then
along.
there's Bad Bunny too. We're in Puerto Rico, so.
Oh man, yes, I know they playing nothing but Spanish music all day out there.
Trap.
Yes, a lot of Spanish trap music. Oh man, Mary, is there anything you want to give to people? Anything you want to tell them? Look right into the camera. Pour out into the people if you can, and we cannot wait to have you on the next show.
Aw.
You definitely bought the vibes, and you wrote under the comment. You said, "I'm bringing the
I
vibes. I'm
told you
bringing
I
the vibes."
would.
And when you said that vibes are big, Bob Proctor introduced us to the vibes. Pour into the people, give them something, and let them know what's going on.
Okay, I would just like the first thing I would say is just I know it's hard and you might be in a hard place right now, but you deserve to be in a better place no matter who's speaking into you or who's telling you that you're not, if it's you, if it's someone else. You can break free from that and you should. And however you're feeling right now, like God loves you so much. I love you. I don't know you, but I'm at a place in my life where I love you. Oh, look, there's my son. Hi, Johnny. See, I love him. But you know what? God loves you. And this life has been given to us to do something amazing with. There's no reason why we can't do amazing things. If you feel like in your heart, like, I just want to do something big with my life, I want to do something amazing with my life, all you have to do is do it. Make a decision. Do it. Overcome your fears, overcome the unknown, just start doing things little by little by little, and I promise you, you won't ever regret pouring into yourself. Because once you know who you are, then you can pour into everybody else.
Yes, yes. Oh man, Mary, this has been an amazing interview. I super appreciate you for coming through.
Thank
We are
you.
family. Like I told everybody that comes on this show, I will continue to promote you guys because it's a us thing. It's not about me. It's
Amen.
not. It's a really a us thing. And you guys came on this show to actually push literature to the culture, and how it changed your life, how it transformed your life. That's what this show is about. And Mary, thank you. Thank you
Well,
very much. I
thank you
hope you
so
have a
much.
phenomenal night. Thank you,
Thank you
family.
so much for having me. I hope that you would have me again. I can't wait to see you and your family, and God bless you.
Oh
And
man, we'll be in Puerto Rico or at the conventions too. So
yes,
yes, and now I got
yes,
a contact in Puerto Rico.
yes, you do. Yes, you
Thank
do.
you.
All right,
Oh
you have an
man, Mary.
amazing night.
You too. Enjoy.
Okay.